Today's episode of the More You Know podcast is brought to you by CrowdQuestion, a brand new social communication platform focused on connecting crowds to bring everyone closer to their community, as well as enhancing any occasion. Rather than being a social media platform focused on content and advertising, they're focused on communication and connection. Learn more about the platform and download the app free at crowdquestion.com.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The
More
You
No
Podcast.
Today I want to share Dana White's journey to significance. So Dana White Jr. was born in Manchester, Connecticut on July 28, 1969. He was the son of June and Dana White, and had a sister Kelly. His father wasn't really present though, and his sister and him were raised by their mother and her family for a majority of their childhoods. At the age of 17, Dana started boxing, and upon graduating high school in Maine, he attempted college twice. The first time at Quincy College, and the other time at UMass Boston, but he dropped out during the first semester both times. From there he worked as a boxercise coach residing in Ware, Massachusetts. Here he also married his wife Anne, who he met in the 8th grade. But unfortunately during this time he had to leave Massachusetts and fled to Las Vegas. And this was due to being threatened by mobster Whitey Bulger and his associate Kevin Weeks. They said he owed money by 1 o'clock tomorrow, and he didn't have the money. So right after he got off the phone he bought a plane ticket for Las Vegas. While in Vegas, White started managing UFC fighters like Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell. For those of you who don't know, both of them were champions and legends. And during this time, Dana met Bob Meyerowitz, who was the owner of the UFC. And shortly after building a relationship with him, he found out that Bob was planning on selling the UFC. So after hearing this, Dana contacted his childhood friend Lorenzo Fertitta. Lorenzo was the former commissioner of the Nevada State Athletic Commission, as well as the co-founder of the Station Casinos. White wanted to see if Fertitta was interested in buying the company, and in January 2001, Lorenzo and his older brother Frank bought the UFC for $2 million, then making Dana White the president of the UFC. And with understanding Dana's passion and expertise surrounding MMA, they let him largely make decisions. When they acquired the UFC, all they received was the brand name and an old octagon. Within 14 years, White developed the UFC into a highly successful business, and turned mixed martial arts into a respected and mainstream sport. By 2015, the UFC made $600 million in revenue, and then in 2016, the UFC was sold for $4.025 billion, with Dana owning 9% of the company at that time. And even though the UFC was sold, White has maintained his role as president. I hope this talk makes a positive impact in your life. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening or watching it. Check out other episodes. Leave a review. Follow the podcast on social media at More You Know Pod, and sign up for CrowdQuestion to ask me questions about the episode. Again, thank you for listening as we propel through podcasting with The More You Know.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
The
More
You
No
Podcast.